Hey, I'm Mike Lemon with Cyber Safety, and thank you for signing up for the cyber safety contract that we are providing. We hope this helps you keep your child safe, helps you find peace of mind when you give your child a phone. So let's kind of jump into the training, and we're going to talk about how these really cyber safe contract, in my mind, is the most powerful tool to help a parent keep their kids safe. So let's start off real quick with a story. Young lady, 22 years old, getting ready to graduate college and start her career. She starts getting text messages from stranger men asking her very sexual things. People are actually knocking on her parents' doors looking for us that she does not know. Come to find out that videos that she had made with her boyfriend, sexual videos, in high school and even in college, were now online. Were being posted online with her name, her address, and her phone number. And so, we talked about how you can get those down. These are exploitation or extortion sites where they have to pay hundreds of dollars per video to get taken down, but they're never really gone. Now she's worried about, who's going to hire her, who's going to date her, if she goes to grad school, who's going to let her in, all based on just videos that she took, right? Not that she was a bad person, not that she was bad in school, not that she treated people badly, just these videos that were taken and then posted online. And it's a scary reality, but it's a reality of the kids. There are kids, the reality that they face whenever they go online, because pics and posts are forever. So our children who are online when they're early teens or preteens are going to have over a decade of really resume being built online that somebody is going to, whoever's going to let them in school, whoever's going to hire them, and eventually whoever's going to date them, potential spouse or whatever, is going to be able to go back and see. So it's much easier to get things right up front than it is to fix problems, as obviously as this young lady is now trying to fix. And so let's talk about why the cyber safety contract is so powerful and exactly what parents are supposed to do. And in my mind, is the most powerful tool a parent has. So a little bit about myself. My name is Mike Lemon, and I'm a retired cyber cop in Bowling Green, Kentucky. I've investigated online crimes against children since the early 2000s, before even Facebook was out. I've been investigating online crimes against children. In 2015, after 13 years of hunting pedophiles online, I started my own company and retired to help smaller agencies, rural agencies, investigate online crimes against children. And during that time, we got a lot of requests to come into training. So really switched focus from helping law enforcement after a child's been hurt to preventing things happening to our kids, and that's where Cyber Safe Teen was born. Since then, 2018, we've had around 21,000 students go through our training, in-person training, and probably a lot more online, but 21,000 in person, and 98% of those kids said they're less likely to send a nude image or to cyberbully another student. And the way we have things set up, the way we conduct our classes, that's exactly the goal we want. Less nude images, less cyberbullying. And we do this through in-person training. We do this through live online training like Zoom or Meets, and we do this through on-demand training, recorded videos just for our students. Oh, but we also have some training for parents. We'll get to that a little bit later. Topics we hit are these 4 topics: social media in your future, cyberbullying, online predators, and sexting in the law. How these things affect them, how to prevent these things from happening, and how to turn into an adult not carrying all this social media baggage that, just like a backpack. How do you go turn into an adult and not carry that? That's what we talk to your kids about. So if it's something that'd be interesting to you for maybe your school or group or whatever, just drop me an email at mike@cybersafeteen.com, and we can talk about that. So what does a contract do? Really, a contract does a couple things. One, it defines expectations. So expectations of you, expectations of your child, and expectations of really a path forward. So, we want children to grow and mature as they go. The contract can grow and mature and help them make better decisions, because they know what they're supposed to do. They know what they're not supposed to do. And going through the process of creating a contract, and not just filling one out that you found online, the process of creating one really helps you open up that communication for your child. So why do you use a contract? Big thing is, in my mind, it's the foundation of every successful safety plan. Every plan must have a contract, in my mind, through my experience, because it is the best safety tool parents have. You establish boundaries, you establish, punishments. You establish really ways to grow, and what you want to be them to be 18, and so you have that kind of plan set out to grow with them, to mature with them as they mature, and there's no tech needed for this. Most parents can get overwhelmed by technology. I've been doing this for many years, and I can get overwhelmed by all the technology, all the apps, and there's no technology needed for this. It's a simple conversation, writing things down, and we'll go over that in just a second. So this is, let's get back just a little bit. There we go. This should be the workbook that you have. There may be some updates to it. It may look a little bit different by the time you get this, but we try to tweak this to make this better for you at all times. And this is a process, right? This isn't a fill out a contract and we're done. This is a process that you start. This is a process that you continue with, and we'll talk about how to continue with that in just a second. But really, number one is you as a parent have to have the right mindset. You have to understand why you're doing things and what you want to allow them to do and what you don't want to allow them to do, and why you want them to not or to do something. So the top 3 concern your child being online, gaming or on a phone, right? So put those 3 down. If you got to think about it. And don't just write a very simple, I'm afraid of dangers. Well, okay, what specific dangers are you afraid of? What specific outcomes or results are you afraid that might happen to your child? Put your top 3. You may write down a bunch, but put your top 3 down there. And then your top 3 reasons why you want your child online. Now, make sure the you part is really stressed here. Why do you want your child online? Not the fact that they want to be online. We'll get to that in a minute, but we want to know why you want your child to be online. Once you establish that, the fears, once you establish the reasons why, that's going to help you go to the next part here, which is vision casting, which describe what success looks like in your mind in your child being an adult. Not to say, I want them to be a doctor. I want them to be this or that. But what does a successful 18-year-old look like to you as they start their adulthood? Whether it's relationships, how they treat people, how they handle situations, whatever that is, write that down, because that becomes your goal, right? So now we have a goal, and we know why we want them online, and we know what we fear. And those fears, I bet, will be connected to your vision casting. So really, those are kind of be the hurdles to get to that point. Oop, there we go. And so you write down your vision casting, then you write down your mission statement for them. What are your goals for them, right? Just like if you have let me kick over here real quick. In any game of basketball, you have 2 goals, right? 1 on each side. It's 10 feet off the ground. The size of the courts are similar. They can be a little bit different, but we know there's boundaries involved. But no matter what you're playing, you can play just nailing a basket up to the side of a barn at 9 feet. Who knows what it is? You can play basketball as long as there's a goal. If you don't have a goal, you can't play. Same thing with cyber safety. If you don't have a goal that you're reaching for with your child, then you can't keep them safe, because you can't say yes or no. This will help you reach that goal or will hurt you reach that goal. So having a goal is extremely, extremely important. So what are your goals for your child, right? And in the contract, you're going to say, I'm providing you with this as long as that. And we'll give you an example of that in just a second. And when they're doing their piece to this, their goals, part of this, you have to let them know that there needs to be an out clause to this. And we'll see it here in just a second. The out clause is this: if they come to you and let you know they're being threatened, if they're coming to you saying, hey, someone's trying to get me to send pictures, let them know they will not be in trouble. All right. And they're not going to lose their online account. Now, you may have to monitor. You may have to say, okay, well, you can't be on it for a little bit until I get these pieces in place, whether it's, locking down your account or notifying the police, whatever it is involved, but let them know they will still have that ability. Because so many times, the cases I worked, kids did not tell their parents because they were worried about getting their online life being taken from them. And the amendment is this: you have the right to change the contract anytime if you need. Something pops up you hadn't thought about, you can change it And then make this a real contract, like you're buying a house or buying a car. Both of you sign it, and this is a real deal. And so that's kind of mindset before we jump into this. But also, there we are. So now we kind of understand the framework of the contract and your mindset. But now let's talk about your mindset with your kids as well. So how well can they be trusted? All right, you don't have to write a specific number down, but just get this in your mind. How well can they be trusted? Because if they cannot be trusted, if trust is not 100% with your child, then they don't need a phone. And I know it may anger some parents me saying that, but it's the truth. You're not going to give your child keys to your car if they can't drive or if they keep coming home drunk in it. You're not going to keep giving it to them. Same thing with the phone. If they keep making mistakes, you can't give them the phone because they're going to keep making mistakes. They're screaming at you through their actions that I am not ready. So trust is paramount. Trust is number one. And then also how much of an opportunist will they be, or how much how at risk will they be to predators? How well do they trust strangers? Are they going to trust anyone who they come in contact with, right? And then if you don't know any of these, like, it's kind of hard to say. It's a bright line that I've used with parents a lot is, can they stay home by themselves? If they can, then maybe it's time to look at a phone. If they can't, then maybe it's not time, because you don't leave them home by themselves because they can make bad decisions by themselves. They can get hurt. Same thing with being online. You're not going to be there. And then the next part is, how mature are they? 1 through 5. Do they have any developmental issues? Right? This isn't a scorecard. This is something for you to look at and have an overall view of your child. So they have any developmental issues? Do they have OCD to where they may just get real compulsive with it? Or, do they have depression to where cyberbullying may really affect them even more so than kids who don't have depression? And then when you're going through this with your child, this is something for them, right? Have them write their own dream. Have them write their own goals, because it takes 2 goals to play basketball, your goal and their goal. And so when you they both have the same goal, then you're walking with your child. You're not pulling, away from them. They're not trying to pull away from you. You're trying to go to the same place. And so you go through the same process with your child of have them writing a mission statement. Now, if they're 12 years old, then they don't have to say what I want to be when I grow up, but they know a 16-year-old. They know how a good 16-year-old has a good reputation. No 16-year-olds have bad reputations. So write that out. I want to have this type of reputation. I want to be seen as this. This is how I want to treat people. This is the way I want to be known. Have their own mission statement. All right. And so on their side of the contract, it's going to be that you own the device. This is how you conduct yourself, whether it's, how respectful, pictures, chats, who they can talk to, the way you talk to people, how many apps you can have, when you can add them, who do you have to allow them to add them, or what make it your own contract. And then accounts. All accounts must be pre-approved, listed on the account login. And I'll tell you why that's important just a second. So connectivity is another piece. Are they going to be connected to just a device? Like my 8-year-olds, they have a tablet and they can play games on it, but they're not connected to the internet. They're not interacting with other people. Or do you want to be connected but chatting, or do you want full chatting ability? Right? These are all the things that you can work with your child to figure out what best fits your family. Then screen time. How much do you want them to be online every day, weekly, during the week, weekends? How much per app, per game? Now, these are things like in screen time or family link that you can actually set up to say you can get this many minutes a week, this many minutes per app, whatever it is. And we'll have different trainings on that. Just check out the Cyber Safe Teen Nation Facebook group, and we'll to keep up with when we have those new trainings. And then reviews, right? How long are you going to review it? You can do it every month, every 3 months. How often are you going to be doing random checks? This is the easiest way to make sure your child, without using a monitor app, is just random checks. Use your thumb. Scroll through there, open apps, open messages, and then you'll see if there's a bunch of conversations that you can see are deleted. Now the trust comes in there, right? He can have that discussion about trust, about what they're doing, what they're seeing. Or if, they call it the shifty eye check. If you see your child and they start hiding the phone when you come in and give you the big eyes, then maybe it's time to check the phone right then. And so your freedom and goals. That's the big part here is you have the kind of the punishment piece of do this, do that, and here's the punishment. But if you sit down and say, here are the goals, here's your path forward. If you want another app, if you want more screen time, then you have to abide by these rules during this time. Then you set that time up, whether it's 3 months, 6 months. I would suggest every 3 months. That way it's fresh in their mind. Every 3 months you're going through this again with them. And you create a new contract, a new goal, and you shore up anything that you're missing that you find, well, we didn't talk about this app, or we didn't talk about, this problem because we didn't know about it. Now we know about it. Put it in your contract. You're good to go, right? Any additional freedoms. And if the goals they met, the new goals are set, whatever it is, your games, another game, another screen time, and then review it and adjust. This is not going to be perfect up front. You'll make it perfect as you go. So account logins, they need to give you all their account names, their account usernames, and their password. So every app they're on, every email they're on, and have those things. And here's why. Number one, if you need to check it, right, and you can go in and check it anytime. And I know parents will say, well, I don't want to invade their privacy. I guarantee you're going to want to invade their privacy when they're missing. All right, I've talked to enough parents who their child's missing. I didn't know, and I wanted to respect their privacy. They're missing. Right? Is now the time to think, oh, maybe I should have. It's not. Children are not, this is not a internet, the social media, gaming is not a world where there's a child and a adult segment. It's all one. So your children are intermingling and mixing with adults. So trust children to be children. They're going to make mistakes, but also trust predators to be predators. You're not invading their privacy. You're making sure they're safe. And maybe something is going on and they're afraid to tell you. So get their account logins. That's one reason. Number two is this: if they do go missing, right? If they go missing and there is they're missing and they call the police get there. If we can get into their account and find their chat, we find them much quicker compared to trying to get a hold of Instagram at 2 a.m. and get somebody to say, hey, where are they logging in from, and work it back that way. You're talking about a time when minutes matter, and it can take hours to get what we need if we have to go the hard way. This is the easy way. We get the account, we can log in, we can work it that way. And so we've recovered children in minutes, and even just an hour or two when we had that information. So write the account numbers down, and that's part of your contract, is they have to keep that updated. And then plan it out. This is a plan. So you don't have to show this to them, but family chat topics and dates. So you can write on here, hey, on January or whenever the next month after this, we're going to sit down, we're going to talk about sexting. And we have videos and we have content on that in Cyber Safe Teen Nation, as well as you can just Google, predator arrest or teens involved in sexting, and just take that web article and talk to your child about that. Doesn't have to be crazy. Doesn't have to be an hour-long conversation. Can be just 5-10 minutes. This is what's going on. This is what we're seeing. What are you seeing? Has anything like this happened to you? What would you do if someone did approach you and ask for pictures, right? Be very quick. Once a month, all it takes. And then inspection. Write down when you're going to be doing these inspections. Make it random. Don't tell them, but make sure that it is inspected at least once a month. And then goals. So these are the goals they want. And those are the dates that you're setting for them. So this is a list for you, for them. And then corrective actions. Things that if they messed up, then where did they mess up? And what did you do? And keep a list of that so if things have messed up, if they made bad decisions, and how did you correct that action? And so you have that for the future of, hey, remember when we talked about this before? This is something a little bit different, but you still need to make sure that sending pictures doesn't matter if it's what it is, but if you're sending pictures of you in a bikini to the boy you like, then those can be sent. on to other people. So let's talk about what you're sending to people. So this is the our version of the contract. It is, well, we believe a pretty solid contract as it is. Everything we talked about, you really can just go down here and fill this out if you want to. My suggestion to you is, though, go line by line and figure out what you want your contract to look like. This is an example contract. It's pretty good, I believe, but it can always be improved on to meet your family's needs. So this is for them. Now you can see it was how they talk to people. Not going to change your password or name. They're number 3. Number 6, you don't download any apps. All these things, you're setting those expectations of what they're supposed to do, and really what we call building a yard of where they can play safely. And number 11, big thing is, I'll put my phone up nightly by this time. Put the phone to bed just like you put them to bed. They'll automatically be 33% safer. Why do I say that? If they sleep for 8 hours and without the phone, or don't have their phone for 8 hours, then they're not going to be bullied. They're not going to be exploited by predators. And in the morning, you can check the phone and make sure that these things are not going on. Because, like I said, a lot of times they're afraid to tell you, either because they're afraid of losing their online life, or they're afraid maybe that they've been threatened that if they tell anyone, they're going to be hurt. So, also, I'll provide you the phone for any time that you want to be checked. So they know that up front. To get a phone, it has to be inspected. Also, let's see. So you're going to provide them a phone, and they will not lose, is what we talked about, they will not lose phone privileges if they immediately let you know that they received, contacted by an unknown person, received a request for images, or they've been threatened in some way, right? Or even if they do send a nude image. Now, if they've been threatened to and they're scared, it's one thing, all right? But if they're doing it on their own, but they do come to you and tell you, then let them know they will lose their phone. They will lose internet contact for a while, but eventually they'll have a path to regain that. So they know that they can tell you there's going to be some punishment, but they'll eventually get that back. And then the path for more freedom, and that's to inspect your cell phones on this many times a week or more as you feel necessary, right? It's up to you. It's up to you how often you do that. And then you'll be reviewed every so many months. My suggestion is 3, quarterly, basically. And then you'll receive, and that's the goal. That's whatever the goal is for that. And then put down the screen time. How much screen time do you want them to have every weekday, every weekend? And then sign it. And then that's the new contract. That's in force until the new contract comes in. So that is a kind of a quick overview of the contract and what it is and how to support it. Like I said, we're going to be going more in depth in a challenge coming out here in May of 2021. And if you're watching this afterwards, then you can go to the Cyber Safety Nation Facebook and just look for contract challenge, and then you can take that challenge as well. Or if you're watching this before May, then you can join Cyber Safety Nation and join the challenge with us live. And that's really it. It's pretty simple to do, and it's one of those things that you're going to kind of stumble through it at first, but then in 3 months when you do it again, it's going to get easier and easier and easier, and you're going to get better and better and better. And that communication between you and your child about what's going on online is going to get much, much better and improved, and that is a big key to keeping your kids safe. My name is Mike Lemon. If you have any questions, just reach out to me. Like I said, Facebook's probably the easiest way to get a hold of me, or emails mike@cybersafeteen.com. And we do appreciate you as a parent taking your time to watch this video. Thank you.